Hello, my name is Kristen Turner, school counselor at Poe Middle School. Today, I'm going to walk you through this rising sixth grade data wall, which we've asked your fifth grade teams to fill out for your school. There are 4 different sections in this spreadsheet. I will zoom out in order to show you them. Don't worry, I will zoom back in. There is a blue section, an orange section, a green section, and a yellow section. Blue is going to be a lot of demographics, special education, ESOL, attendance and behavior data. This orange section is all reading data, green is math, and yellow is a space for additional notes. So let me zoom back in for you. Hopefully you can see. Again, we're not asking you to fill anything in the blue section. We've pulled it all from EDSL. I am going to be trying to pull Young Scholars data from SIS and add that in, but otherwise all of this is from EDSL and does not need to be updated. So when you look at this spreadsheet, you can scroll past the blue section and onto the reading section. You'll notice that we've frozen the first column so that the name of the student will follow you as you move through the spreadsheet. We've pulled iReady scores, we've pulled DRA2 scores and dates, and we've left some additional columns in for F&P, Fontes and Pinnell, dates and scores if you have them. So really what we're asking for these columns is just to take a look at the iReady and DRA2 scores, and if you have any more recent data, to go ahead and update that. And then in columns V and W to include the most recent F&P date and score if you have it for the student. As you scroll through, we do have the SOL data from their 4th grade SOL, and we will be pulling their 5th grade SOL data from EDSL. So we're not asking you to put that in. We will just pull it when we have it available to us. And lastly, in this orangey pinky color, we have the course selection for each student, meaning what class they are currently enrolled in for next year. And we're asking that teachers go through in column A, B, and verify by agreeing or disagreeing with the course selection. So keep in mind, HN means honors, TT means team taught, and SC means self-contained. So for example, you'll be going through, you'll look at the student, what they're enrolled in for next year. If it looks good, then you'll just choose agree. Maybe you see this next student who's enrolled for general education language arts 6, but you think that they should be in honors, you can push disagree. And this will give us the ability to really prioritize which students we discuss when we're together in our meeting at the end of May or beginning of June, depending on which school. Just keep in mind that we are an open enrollment school, so students are allowed to sign up for honors, even if they were not recommended for honors. You are more than welcome to include any notes about your course verifications in this last section at the end, additional notes. So that is it for the reading section. And we will move on to the math section in green. Ooh, sorry, went too far. Okay. All right, there we go. So again, we've pulled iReady scores, dates, levels from EDSL. We've pulled grade 4 math SOL scores. So nothing to fill in there. Obviously you can update if you have any updated data. And I know, this isn't all the math data that you have. So just remember that, let's say you have an AVMR example or an example from different sort of assessments that you've done, and you can include all of those in the additional notes section at the end. Or you're welcome to, create another column if you think that would be helpful. That's totally fine. We do ask that you fill in this column AJ, which is asking for whether or not a student is currently enrolled in Advanced Math 5. I did try very hard to get a checkbox into this column, but that is a lot harder in Excel than Google Sheets. So I apologize for that, but if you could just type in a Y or a yes or something to indicate that the student is currently in Advanced Math 5. And then similar to English, we have the math course selections for next year, and we're asking that teachers go through and verify whether they agree or disagree with each of the course selections for each student. Okay. Last but not least, we have this yellow section. Sorry, I went a little too far. We have this yellow section, which is really a space for additional notes and things that will help our teachers, administrators, and clinical staff be ready to support your students. In column AN, we're just asking, does the student have a behavior plan in place? You can type yes if true, and then include any details about that in the additional notes. How long the behavior plan's been in place, what the student's goals are, what strategies have helped them be successful, that kind of information. Administrators will be having their own meetings for transition, but this will be a great sort of jumping off point to kind of see which students have been in need of that support at your school. In column AO, you'll see that we are asking for any students or families that you recommend for weekly food support. Maybe they've been receiving that at your school, and we want to make sure that we can pretty efficiently get that set up for them once they move to PO. So if that is true, then if you could type yes in this column. Anytime it's not true for a student, you can just leave it blank. I'm not sure who in your building is the best to fill out this column. It may be your parent liaison, counselors, social worker, admin, whoever it is. But we just really appreciate having that data prior to welcoming students in our building. All right, last but not least is our additional notes section. So again, we talked about you can include data where there wasn't a place for it before. You can include sort of additional information about other types of assessments that the student has done well on. You may include strategies that have helped the student be successful, their strengths, interests, motivators. You can talk about their areas of growth, just being sure to use that asset-based language. And we've got some sentence starters up here to sort of help guide you in using asset-based language. You can note if a student had like a prolonged absence or missed units or concepts over the course of the year. And any discrepancies in the data. Maybe you look at the math data, for example, and feel that it doesn't accurately represent the student's ability. That's something you can talk about here. And lastly, just mentioning whether the student worked with a social worker, school psychologist, or received, frequent counseling support. Those clinical teams will be having their own meetings as well. But again, this spreadsheet will be a great jumping off place to guide those meetings. So that is everything for the spreadsheet. We also sent written directions in emails to your principals. So you can certainly ask them for support. And if you have any other questions, you can reach out to our Director of Student Services, Bianca Aiello, or myself, Kristen Turner, and we would be happy to help support you. We really appreciate you doing this work prior to our meeting at the end of May or beginning of June so that we can use our time efficiently and make sure we have this great resource for our teachers as the students join us at PO, which we're really excited about. So thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you at the end of the month.